Hello, everybody, and welcome to Mindset to Money. I'm Barrett Matthews, along with my good friend and colleague here, Mr. Chris Salem. Chris, what's going on, buddy?
Barrett, what's happening?
Oh, man, I'm ready to have some fun tonight, man. For those of you who don't know, Chris and I'm going to let him tell you who he is and everything. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm going to tell you who I am in a minute as well. But we met on a cruise, the Lead Hership cruise. Shout out to Sharon Frame for having us on the cruise. We were the only men in the group that spoke, in a women's group.
The male speakers.
That's right. But we were also cabin mates. So we had fun, man. We were cabin mates, and people on the ship swore that we had known each other for years, and I was telling people we just met here.
We just met, and yet I felt like I've known you for like 10 years or something like that. So it was awesome. We had such a good time.
We had a ball, and what happens on the ship stays on the ship. So
exactly. I tell you, Cuba was an experience, no question about it.
Cuba was an experience, and that what was that scavenger hunt game that we played? That was an experience.
Oh yeah, in the theater. Oh my God, yeah, that was kind of crazy, but it was fun.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun. We had fun no matter what. We had a ball on the ship. So Chris, tell everybody who you are, man.
Sure. Well, I am a life and business strategist and a radio show host, a world-class speaker, wellness advocate, and certified mindset expert. So what I do is I work with entrepreneurs, business leaders, and sales professionals to have sustainable success at the next level in their business. So what this means is I get them to increase their income, double their business, regain more of their time back, achieve optimal wellness, and have thriving relationships. So the whole idea is to find that balance to have sustainable success. And how we do this is getting to the root cause to their limited beliefs and mindset barriers that hold them stagnant or not in a place where they can achieve that sustainability. So in essence, that's what I do in the radio show and the speaking and all that stuff just kind of reinforces that message.
All right. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm Barrett Matthews. I'm your productivity to profits coach. What I do is I work with people to stop them from procrastinating, to help them to move into a position of productivity, to help them increase their presence. I want people to stop selling their time for dollars and to start selling their skill. You all have skills out there that you're given. And the thing is, too many people are out there selling their time instead of selling their skills. So what I want to do is put you in a position so that you can use your time to do other things, to be more creative, to be more productive, and to be more profitable. So that's what I do. So Chris and I, we met on the ship and we immediately said, we got to do something together. We got to do something together. So as you know, Chris is an author. I'm an author as well. You see my 2 books behind me. And what we said we were going to do is put on a webinar, and you see us doing it. So we took action. We didn't play around with this thing, right, Chris?
Absolutely. You said, hey, we're going to do it. And sure enough, you sent the banner and I got it out there. Absolutely. So we're hoping that everyone who registered, we're going to give you a wealth of information tonight that will allow you to pivot in some way that you can start taking action to change your dialogue with money.
And stay to the end, guys. Stay to the end because we got something special for you. If you stick around to the end, we want to make sure that we take care of you all for taking the time out to give us, you gave us today. So we appreciate you. We want to make sure that we give something back to you guys as well. So Chris, let's talk about this now. We talk about mindset to money. A lot of people go into business, of course, to make money. But I've got a feeling that they don't have the right mindset in place to do that. Give me your thoughts on that.
Well, yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I mean, there are people who've had success. They've maybe made some money for a short period of time and then for some reason lost it, or it wasn't sustainable. Or maybe some people have just had a hard time ever making money, maybe always living behind the 8 ball in debt. And what ends up happening is the reason why this is going on is because about 99% of the world operates their business in life managing the problem, not within the solution. So what is the problem? Is it a problem in itself? Well, it's not necessarily that it's a problem, but it's a barrier that's holding you back, and it's often subconscious in the mindset. So this is why you're not able to really identify what it is. You just know that something is not working. I just can't seem to get ahead. I can't seem to save enough money. I can't seem to take my business from $2 million to $4 or $5 million. Whatever the case may be, there is a certain thing that's going on and subconsciously that's holding you back, whether it's personal or in your business. So That's what we're going to be talking about a little bit about tonight, about what those barriers are, where do they stem from, and how can we go about removing them.
So, Chris, I'm going to let you go ahead. Let's talk about those barriers. Go right ahead and talk about it, Roddy.
So here's the thing. I mean, most of the time when we have limited beliefs or what I call mindset barriers, these are often tied to a negative emotion or a group of negative emotions. So this is something that it goes back to childhood, where we have either a father or a mother that really had a lot of influence over us, whether that was in a positive, negative way, either or. So a lot of times we pick up certain positive things from our parents and we pick up negative things from our parents. Now, if we came from a household where there was a negative view on or a negative dialogue when it came to money, now that could go both ways. It could be where money was an evil thing, or money was only for people that were, that were born rich, or that they're greedy and that we're very humble people and we don't need a lot of money. Or it could be that you came from a lot of money, but yet you had these principles about money, about just hoarding the money or just, selfishly using it for your own gain and not really giving back. So it could go either way. And it's this dialogue with money that ends up causing problems in the future to make it sustainable, to make it work in your favor, whether if it's personal in your business. So let me give you an example. So me personally, and I like to always share my story, and I'm going to share a client with you, so this will exemplify what this means. When I was growing up, my father was determined to make a lot of money. That was his goal. He came from nothing. I mean, dirt poor growing up, and he knew that he never wanted to be like that again. He wanted to always, find something that he can make his own and become wealthy. What my father ended up doing was he made a lot of sacrifices, but he made too many sacrifices. So what he did is he sacrificed our family. He was never present in my life. Even though he might be there here and there, he really wasn't there. There was no emotional connection with me or my brother. So I grew up going to ball games. I grew up going to Cub Scout functions, my high school graduation, my college graduation, and my father was not present because he was out chasing the almighty dollar. Now, while I give him kudos for going out and pursuing his passion and building a business, he did lose that balance and sacrificed his family for the sake of it. Now, how that projected onto me was I learned that my dad had a good work ethic. I grew up learning from my father that I knew how to save money and never just waste money on trivial things, but to actually put money to use. Those were good things. But what ended up happening was because of that lack of bond with my father, I grew up very, very angry. So I was a rebellious teenager. I acted out in college. I engaged in unhealthy behaviors and habits. I had a lack of discipline. And all of these things led to addiction. So I struggled with addiction with drugs, alcohol. But see, all of these things were a byproduct of a negative emotion called anger. My anger was tied to my root cause. So let's guess what my root cause was. I mean, I've been talking about it. It was my father. So at the time, I didn't know this. So until I was able to go through a process that I consult and coach people on in businesses, I was able to adopt a Eastern meditation program with a 12-step program and implement a 7-step process that allowed me to identify my root cause and release it. So here's what I found was that when I was operating in the root cause or managing the problem, I ended up making a lot of bad decisions. I would get involved in businesses and pick bosses or business associates or partners that ended up being my father. Didn't realize that at the time. And there was nothing but disappointment. And I would always blame the world. So I would sometimes make a lot of money, and then the money would just slip through my hands and out the door because I was spending it on drugs, alcohol, and because I was medicating that pain. And while I still had a good work ethic and I had good money principles, I was kind of losing it because I was caught up in this anger, this addiction of anger. So as a result of this, it really didn't allow me to keep balance and really to have a better dialogue with money, that I could use the money that would allow it to grow and use it for other things, giving back to others, sharing with family, investing in a future business for myself. All of these things were not happening until I decided that I had to take ownership and responsibility for my own self, for this, that nothing was going to change until I did something up here. And like I mentioned earlier, 99% of us operate managing the problem unconsciously. So the key is to be aware that something is not where you want to be. Now, let me tell you another story. This might really make sense for those that are business oriented. I had a gentleman that came to me a little over a year ago. He was a sales professional making multi-six figures selling software solutions. Did very, very well. So he had a great family life, happily married, kids, went to church every Sunday. Seemed like he had everything going for him. However, he was struggling with the fact that personally, he could not go from closing a seven-figure deal. He had been closing many six-figure deals with companies, but was unable to close a seven-figure deal, and he could not figure out why. When he was presented the opportunity, he would just freeze at the point when it was either going to go forward or not go forward, and it didn't go forward. Here's what ended up happening is that we ended up working together, and through this process that I'm going to be talking about later, he was able to, through the meditation and some journaling, to reveal that he remembered when he was 9 years old, and he would be up at plate in a baseball game, and his dad would be behind the backstop critiquing him on his stance. And in a nice way, which his dad thought it was, he was providing constructive criticism. But what ended up happening was his approach might have had a negative impact on my client, in that every time when he was put in that situation, he would choke. He would not advance the runners. He would strike out, whatever the case may be. And as a result of that, he didn't realize that that particular period of his life, he was holding passive anger and resentment towards his father and was not even aware of it, because him and his father had a great relationship. He didn't even realize he was even angry. But it was that was holding him back from closing seven-figure deals. Now, some people here might be thinking like, well, that's crazy. How can that be? But here's the thing. There are things just like that are so subtle that can be holding you back from playing here or playing way up here. You can't even see my hand right now. Something like that. See, he didn't realize that until he went through this process. This came out of his subconscious mindset. Consciously, he was not aware of it. So we were able to help him resolve his root cause to his father, to release the negative emotion tied to the root cause, and then to move forward in the solution. And within 4 months, he had closed his first seven-figure deal. So what I'm trying to say is that gentleman is no different than me, no different from you or anybody. Whatever success means to you in terms of money or whatever you're looking for in life, you have that capability. You have to own it. And it's only up to you and no one else that's going to do it. It starts from here, and I'm happy to go into that a little further, Barrett. But go ahead if you'd like to interject.
Well, I want to find out how do people receive you when you're talking to them about such things?
Well, I mean, it can be very personal, but this is why it's so important to have a consultant or a coach rather than a therapist. Now, I'm not minimizing therapy at all, but we just have a different approach because, again, I'm coming from experience. I'm not just reciting things out of a textbook. It's not like I was a psychologist in my former career and I'm just kind of changing this over into a coaching mode. This is from personal experience, things that I know have worked for me, have worked for others, and that others that you see that are successful in their lives in business and that are transparent and authentic. These people are practicing these principles. They're using meditation and journaling daily and incorporating certain habits and behaviors and disciplines daily to have sustainable success, making money, manifesting more money into their life. There is a science to this. It all comes down to energy. And then what happens is that when we have these mindset barriers or limited beliefs, it blocks that flow of energy from attracting what you're looking for. So if you're looking to make 100,000 and go up to 200,000, those blocks have to be removed in order to get to that level. There's no shortcuts here. So the purpose of this webinar is to inform people that The problem and the solution always reside in you, no one else. You could go to Tony Robbins for 3 weeks. You could go to any program. They offer awesome programs that will help you become successful. However, if you don't have the right mindset foundation for it, then it's not going to work. It's not that the programs don't work. It's because you won't be able to incorporate or implement them with all that clutter that's going to hold you back. That flow of energy, the chi. If you're coming from Eastern meditation, that chi is blocked. We need to open up the chi, open up the flow of energy. We need to have a clear foundation to work from. And this is the whole idea of becoming aware if something is not working, accepting where you are at and making the commitment to move forward to find the root cause to your limited beliefs, and then truly forgiving the source to the root cause to move forward.
Now, Chris, I want to have you talk for about maybe 8 or 9 more minutes on, because I want to. Sure. I don't want to interrupt this flow because you got a really good flow going on here. But I will be remiss if I didn't remind you. I know you said something. You said you wanted to offer to give them something for free.
Absolutely. Well, we talked about mindset. So what I'd like to offer everybody that's listening here right now is that if you go to www.christophersalem.com, on the homepage, if you just scroll down to the middle, there's going to be an area where you can put your email. If you put your email there, and I see that it was done this evening or tomorrow morning, I know that it came from the webinar, and you're going to receive a free 31-day clarity program. So for 31 days, you're going to receive an email that's going to address certain questions that are going to begin to get you to become aware of what might be lacking in your life. What can you do to start making changes, to start implementing the right mindset to attract more money into your life, to have better relationships, and have optimal wellness. So this 31-day program is absolutely free to you, and I want to offer that as taking time tonight to tune into this valuable webinar that's offering a lot of great insight, and we have more to come.
All right, so I'll let you continue, my friend.
All right, so when we talked about mindset, right? So we talked about having awareness. Number one, that something is not working in our life, or we're not making enough money, or we haven't taken our business to another level revenue-wise. 2, we're going to accept where we are right now and commit 100% to move forward towards finding a solution root cause to those barriers. How are we going to go about finding the root cause to remove those barriers or that limited mindset? We need to begin the process of a 2-step process called meditation and journaling. That's going to be a daily habit that you're going to do for the rest of your life. You're going to take 15 to 20 minutes to get into the moment, to learn how to be present in the moment. Because in the moment is when you're able to experience clarity. And in that clarity, it's going to lead to a lot of other great habits that are going to serve you. You're going to become more decisive. You're going to have the ability to follow through. So what I mean by that is by being in the moment, if you can be clear, then you can be decisive, and then you can follow through with action, that's going to increase your chances of bringing more money into your life. That flow of energy is going to be powerful. But you can only do that with a clear mindset, being in the moment. If you're operating in a mindset where you're always in the past and the future, in the past, that's going to trigger stress and fear. When you project into the future, that's going to produce anxiety. Anxiety leads to procrastination, and that's what Barrett is going to talk to you about here in a little bit. Procrastination, which is the thief of all dreams. So here, by learning to be in the moment, we're going to be like cleaning out. It's just like cleaning out your garage or cleaning out the back of your car. We're cleaning all the clutter out of our mindset, because until we're able to do that, we're not going to be able to find the root cause, because it's just like a tree. That tree's got many different roots. There's many different causes that are holding you back, but they all lead to the major root, the root cause, the root cause, which is deep. And that's, if we could follow the different causes that take us to the main root. It's like looking in a bee's nest and navigating through the bees to find the mother bee or the queen bee. That's where we're going. And that's the source where we have to address where the root cause is to truly release it. Once we find it, we need to forgive the source. And then any of those negative emotions tied to it, anger, shame, guilt, jealousy, envy, or any combination thereof, we're going to release that. Now, I'm not going to say you're never going to experience a negative emotion again, but when you do experience a negative emotion, it's not going to hold you down. It's going to come and go as quickly as it came. Whereas now, when you operate in the past and the future, or managing the problem that we talked about, that negative emotion can just linger for a while. And you're going to block all the different channels that are going to allow you to, draw certain amounts of money into your life. Trust me, this is the law of energy. And anger is the lowest vibrational energy of all. Negative energy or negative emotions are low vibrational energy. They will not attract anything that you desire in your life. Only positive emotions like love, joy, happiness, having compassion, gratitude. These are the things consistently done in the present moment are going to draw bigger and better things into your life and allow you to go through obstacles and setbacks where you can persevere and go through them. Any other question?
No, I'm gonna let you go for a few minutes. I'm gonna let you take it to the bottom of the hour, and I was gonna take it from there.
Sure, absolutely. All right, so we got good. I can keep going. So here we go. So now let's say now we've resolved the root cause, everyone. So now is that it? No, we need now to begin to adopt our solution. What is our purpose? Our true purpose, not the purpose that we've been led to believe from our false self. Again, money is a byproduct of the value you bring to others, or even the value that you give to yourself. Many times we are doing certain things because we think that those jobs or things that we're involved in will yield a lot of money, and they may very well do so. But if it doesn't define who you are or come from your solution, that money is not going to be sustainable, and you're never going to be content or happy. But when you come from your true purpose, when you find that in the solution after resolving the root cause, the money will come to the value that you bring to yourself and to others consistently on a daily basis. Now, in order to do that, in order to take your purpose and the solution and begin to implement that into a game plan that's going to sustain your success long term, we need to develop a life and business strategy. Now, you heard me say it, life and business strategy. The thing is the myth is a lot of people think that a business strategy and a life strategy are two separate things. So whatever I do in my business, it doesn't matter what I do in my personal life. But whatever I do in my personal life, it doesn't matter what I do in my business. And that is so untrue. Because the reality is when something is not working in your personal life, such as your wellness or your relationships, you think that's going to have an impact on what you do in your business, or you have an impact on how you go about making money. Absolutely. Same if something's not going right in your business, or if you have investments that are not going your way. Will they have a negative impact on your well-being and your relationships? Absolutely. There's got to be the balance. So when you're looking at a life and business strategy, it has to be as one. And we have to be very specific and use very powerful statements to manifest what we want. I need to make a lot of money. I want to make a lot of money. I will try to make a lot of money. Those are very vague statements that will yield nothing. Try means that, I have a desire to make more money, but I really don't want to make the effort, or I don't feel confident in myself that I'm going to move forward. I need, or I want established that I want something, and that's all you're going to keep experiencing. I want. Some of the powerful words are I am and I will. So you got to be careful with your words. So when you devise your life and business strategy, you got to have very clear what your life mission is and your business mission, and how they kind of come together as one, using specific powerful words and that have a time frame to them. When are you going to achieve these? Is it going to be a year, 2 years, 3 years? You got to be very specific. You can't say I will make a lot of money. I will make $3.4 million and 25 cents. I mean, very specific, and it will be done by April 15th of 2020. You got to be very, very specific. But It's not about the money. You got to have something that's going to define your purpose, how you're going to get there. What kind of business is it going to be in? Maybe you're in your current job and it's something you enjoy, but maybe you're not utilizing your strengths properly. How are you going to go about, using what catalyst is going to allow you to make that income? That has to be implemented in there as well. So you got to be very specific with your words, and they have to be action-oriented and highly impactful. That is your life and business statement or mission. Now, once you have that, you have to break that down into, smaller attainable goals daily. Too many times we're focused on the outcome of things. We want things tomorrow or today. But the reality is that success is a process. And while you should be focused and visualize your outcome, you need to be focused really on the process. Because when you focus on the process to success, that's where the magic is. That is what's going to manifest exactly what you want in 2 years into your life, by focusing daily on whatever the tasks that are at hand. Focus on the most important ones that are going to put you in a position to make money towards your goal or add more value, and keeping that balance with your personal life and your business. You have to plan everything out every day, what you're doing. So this way it doesn't become overwhelming. So you don't get caught up in the future and the past. You're in the moment. And those daily, smaller attainable goals that you achieve roll up weekly, monthly, quarterly, semi-annually, and annually to lead towards your desired objective. Once you're able to get into that practice of doing that, you're establishing now good habits and behaviors and disciplines. So you're being in the moment, you're meditating, you're journaling. You might get up early and eat a good breakfast. You might get up, work out, maybe read a personal development book or a business book for 50 minutes. Engage in certain types of disciplines that are going to position you to be organized, focused, and structured. Those combination of all of those things done daily are going to increase your likelihood of achieving your goal almost to 100%. But you have to be consistent. You can't just do it once in a while. It's got to be consistent. And you need to continue to invest in yourself, meaning if you have to spend money with coaches or programs to help develop your skills, your strengths, and minimize your weaknesses. Don't focus on your weaknesses. Let somebody else handle that part for you. Focus on what you're really good at. And be accountable every step of the way. Because if you're not accountable to yourself or accountable to somebody else that's got your best interest, that sustainable success will elude you in making money consistently. You need to be accountable for the rest of your life. So we're almost at the top of the hour here. But those in a nutshell are the steps necessary, Barrett, for anybody that's listening that would allow them to go from wherever they are now to where they want to be. This is not an overnight thing. This is a process. And no one is going to do this for them. They have to do it themselves. But if they have the right structure, system in place, or a coach, whatever they're working with, this is going to help them guide them along the way to get to where they are now, to where they want to be.
All right. Now, Chris is going to come back with you a little bit later along with me, and we're going to talk to you about how you can get more information, how you can actually start implementing what we're talking about here. Now, I want to talk about the other side of it as far as the money. He talked about getting the mindset for the money. I want to talk to you about the money because, see, I myself had a couple of issues when it came to money. And some of you may have those same issues. You may vacillate between different ideas about money, or you may just be in denial. So I'm going to just keep it as real as I can. Well, here's the thing. Growing up, I came from a middle-class family. Both my parents worked for the United States government. And I grew up in the D.C. area. That was understood. You were either in the government or you were a school teacher. That's pretty much what you did. My parents, my father worked for the Department of Agriculture. My mother worked for U.S. Customs. And, that's what I knew. But this is where the mindset came in. We were always taught to work. We were taught to work a job. We were always taught to work a job. None of us were taught entrepreneurship. So if you can understand where I'm going with this, if you're taught to work a job and you're not taught entrepreneurship, you're taught that there is a ceiling. Now, none of them said, Barrett, there's a ceiling. But with a job, there is a ceiling. There's only going to be so much you can make. When they tell you that's what this job pays, that's what that job pays. So, you're stuck there. Now, the other thing about that is that My parents worked jobs. They did, they followed the plan. Work for 40 years, retire, and you live off your retirement. That's the way. But I found out later that my mother had all these different dreams, but she put those dreams aside to take care of her family, of course, but also so she could keep that job. And I think about that to this day, and I'm like, God, I hate the fact that she put aside her dreams. But there's so many people doing that right now. So, like I said, that's how I grew up, in thinking that that there's a limit as to how much you can make, and most people who are working in the corporate arena, and you've heard this one before, they never think about obtaining wealth. They think about working, and here's that phrase again, to be comfortable. That's the phrase they always use. I just want to make enough to be comfortable. I don't need to get rich. As long as I'm comfortable, I'm good. Well, what does that mean? One of my coaches, he talks to me about that all the time when people say that. Because, and I'm going to ask you, Chris, real quick.
Yeah.
If I asked you, Chris, how healthy do you want to be? What would you say?
Healthy. Well, healthy means more than just physical. To me, it's that my emotional, my spiritual, my physical, and my financial wellness, including occupational, environmental, intellectual, the 8 pillars of wellness. I'm finding there's no such thing as perfect balance, but I have them where they're as balanced as they can be. So I'm feeling good, but I never want to feel comfortable. I always want to be uncomfortable, not in a bad way, but not that I have pain, but in a way that's allowing me to, grow, that I know that I'm capable of, moving.
So you want to grow.
Exactly. So
that's what I was getting at. That's what I was getting at.
No, you don't want to be comfortably uncomfortable. You want to be uncomfortably comfortable.
So, and I say that only because, and I ask people, I say, how comfortable do you want? Well, how healthy do you want? And most people say, well, as healthy as I can. Or if I say, how, I don't know, how whatever you want to be, they'll say as much, as well as I can, whatever. They never put limits on things. But when they ask them about how wealthy do you want to be, I just want to be comfortable. And we limit and there's a lot of reasons why we say that. But the thing is, we have to get out of that comfort thing. They say success lies beyond your comfort zone. So you got to get out of that comfort zone. There was a gentleman I talked to a while ago, and I said, yeah, we got to start thinking outside the box. And his response was, why are you in a box? So it made me think, I'm like, why do I put myself in a box? Just by saying that, I put myself in a box.
Exactly.
So I want to get everyone on here to pay attention to the fact that we limit, you heard Chris talk about limiting beliefs. We limit ourselves when it comes to the thought of money. If you think about this, when you watch a movie and there's a villain in the movie and there's a good guy in the movie, how often is the good guy wealthy? Very rarely.
Yeah.
It's usually the villain who's the wealthy person. And you can't tell me that subliminally that puts a message in your head. We've been taught, right or wrong, we've been taught that money is the root of all evil. That's not what the Bible says, but we've been taught that. And it's just like anything. Sometimes we listen to what we're taught instead of reading it ourselves. So a lot of times we're taught that money is the root of all evil when that's not the case. It's the love of money that's the root of all evil. But that is not to say that you were not meant to be wealthy. A lot of people say, well, I just want to be able to do good for people and so forth. Well, do you think you could do more good if you had more money? Just saying. I know I could help a lot more people than I can help right now if I had more money to help them with. I heard about this gentleman. He's a billionaire, and he's going around helping people to pay their mortgages. He's going around helping people to get themselves out of debt, using his own money to do so. He couldn't have done that if he didn't have that money. And the same thing applies to you. So I really want to get you to understand that. Now, personally, I had to go through some changes. One was I had to get fired. Yeah. I got fired from a job. I used to work in television. I've been in television for a number of years, but I worked in television, worked at CBS Sports. And CBS Sports felt that they didn't need me anymore. They did not renew my contract. So I was unemployed, and I was looking for work. But what it did, it caused me to look at other arenas. It caused me, when you get enough doors slammed in your face, eventually you're going to start looking elsewhere, maybe a different kind of door. So what I did is I looked into another door, and I actually got it with a network marketing company, and was the best thing that could have happened to me, because what it did is it showed me that I didn't have to punch a clock every day in order to make money. It changed my whole focus from what I had been taught all those years. Now, here's the funny thing about that, little side note. That same company had approached my father years ago. He signed up to do it. He just never, carried on with it. But he never mentioned it to me. Isn't that something? So when I joined, I did it and I became successful doing it. But the good thing about it is, and I'm glad my father did attempt it to some degree, because had he not, he might have been negative towards me doing it. But he knew what I was doing. I was just taking it to a different level than he had. So he was like, hey, go ahead, son. I remember one day he said to me, he said, my son says he's going to be very successful in this, and I believe him. He doesn't know those words, how powerful they were to me. But they meant a lot to me, because it made me feel I can do it. And when I know this, you're probably wondering, well, what does this have to do with money? That has more to do with the mindset. Absolutely. Because if someone around you heard Chris talk about he and his dad, if someone around you that's close to you can pour some words of encouragement into you when you're trying to do something that is difficult, that's something that other people are not doing, it can propel you to do great things. So my father, he spoke those words to me. He had no idea what it meant to me to hear him say that, but it meant a lot to me. So going back, I joined the network marketing company, and I had a fantastic sponsor. She was kind of like a drill sergeant. She was the toughest woman I've ever worked with. I've seen her, Chris. I saw her make Marines quit. I'm not lying. She was tough, but she made me who I am, because she knew she did it with love, and a lot of people could not take that type of love. I understood she didn't mean any harm in the way that she talked to us, and I took it, and it pushed me to do better and do better and do better. And I still, to this day, I give her credit for helping me to become who I am. And some of the other people who work with me, then we do the same thing. We all give her credit. But sometimes you need someone to push you. Sometimes you need someone to make you get out of that comfort zone. Because here's something I want to tell you guys, and I want you to pay attention, and you can write this down. Success and comfort don't mix. Success and comfort don't mix. Guess what? Success and convenience don't mix either. No one has been greatly successful in this world being comfortable and convenient the whole time. Doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. No, it doesn't. You're going to go through some struggles. You heard Chris, you heard his story. You're going to go through some ups and downs. You're going to go through some hard knocks. It's going to happen. It's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when.
Absolutely.
So when you understand that, you go into it with that attitude, you know it's going to happen, but you just got to push forward anyway. So I knew that was going to happen. So when I got fired from CBS, I knew hardships were going to happen. When I got in network marketing and then I ran into some hard times, I knew that was going to happen. Then later on, after I got out of the network marketing company, and don't get me wrong, I'm going to put this to rest right now. There was nothing wrong with network marketing. That's not why I got out. Okay? Let me put that to rest right now, because I know some of you out there looking for a reason to get out of your network marketing or not to join the network marketing. I'm still with another network marketing company. So that it has nothing to do with the network marketing industry. So you can put that to rest before I move forward. Okay, now going ahead, I had to still get my mindset. I was shown in network marketing that I could make as much money as I put my mind to. I was shown that. And I got a chance to work around people who did that. I got a chance to increase my income and to see it grow and grow. But there was still something missing. And I think Chris can understand this better than most. There was still something missing. I later learned from a coach who taught me some real serious money principles. And that's when it clicked. That's when it clicked. I was still putting limits on myself as to how much money I could make or how much money I should make, because I did not see my value. And I remember paying this coach to help me with some stuff. I paid him 5 figures. I'm not telling you how much it was, but I paid him 5 figures to help me.
Yeah.
And he told me, Barrett, the best thing I could have ever done for you was charge you what I did, because now you have no problem charging your value. And I said, you know what? You're absolutely right. It definitely worked, because it helped me to realize, you know what? I'm worth more than what I give myself credit for. Some of you out there right now have products or services and you don't know how to price it. You're afraid, oh, they're not going to pay this amount of money for it. I don't know if it's worth all that. Let me tell you something. There's a book I read called Book Yourself Solid. And he talks about that same thing there. And he says, you need to price yourself until it makes you uncomfortable. Price it until it makes you uncomfortable. When you get so uncomfortable with it, yeah, that's probably where you need to be. Because you have more value than you give yourself credit for. You see, for instance, this is my book. This is my best-selling book. Why didn't you get it done? Here's the thing about the book. I sell it for about 20 bucks. It's worth more than that. It's worth more than that. I've been reading Chris's book. It's worth more than what he sells it for. Trust me on that. The thing is, we sell it for a price, but it's worth more. Why? Because of what it can do for people. And what happens is we price things based on how much time we put in it, the hours we put into it and so forth, and what we think people will pay for it. But what if you started pricing things for what the value is, what they actually get out of it? Let's say someone read Chris's book and they went out the next month and felt confident enough to go close a 6-figure deal. Does the value of Chris's book go up? I say it does. So understand that you may have something that people need that could provide a specific value to them, a personal value to them. Understand the value of whatever it is that you offer goes up. But you can't limit your belief in what you have to offer them by what you think people are willing to pay. Or by what let me give you a prime example. Mercedes-Benz sells automobiles. And you notice I didn't say cars, I say automobiles, because that's what they call it. It takes on a different meaning when you call it an automobile. Now, they sell automobiles. They price them sometimes 6 figures for the car. Or the automobile, sorry, not the car. The automobile. Sometimes it's 6 figures for that. But the thing is, people, they don't base it on, well, will people pay this? They base it on what they feel the value is. They base it on what people will get out of it. Now, here's the thing, and I learned this a long time ago. People say, well, oh, that's too expensive. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not too expensive. You know why? Because someone can afford it. If someone can afford it, it's not too expensive. It's just that you can't.
And if they really want it, that's the thing. If you really want something, you really want it, you're going to pay whatever it takes to get the results that you desire.
That's true, Chris. That's so true. And here's the thing. Chris hit on an excellent point there. Excellent point. People do not buy what they need. They buy what they want. They don't pay for what they need. They pay for what they want. So when you are marketing or trying to sell your product, your service, whatever it is to people, find out what the people want. Stop telling them what you believe they need. Tell them that you have what they want. Find out what they want. Offer what they want instead of what you think they need. They're not there to have you preach to them about what you think they need. Now, if you can package what they need in what they want, then you've got a win-win situation. But understand, people are not going to buy what they need. They're going to buy what they want. Otherwise, there would be no McDonald's. Because nobody needs McDonald's. People go to McDonald's because they want McDonald's. There's not one person that needs it. I don't even know if it's really food, but I'm just saying. But the thing
well,
is,
we're talking about money. Yeah, the money in McDonald's. Well, McDonald's makes a lot of money, but I wouldn't associate with eating McDonald's with making money for yourself.
right.
They don't go hand in hand.
No, not at all. Not at all. But like I said, it's a need and want thing. No one needs it. They go there because they want it. That's the only reason they go there. So understand that when you have a product or service to offer to people, people are going to buy your product or service because they want it. Now they may say, "Oh, I need this." I'll give you a prime example. When I first came out with my book, I had it sitting on a table. I was at a festival, a book festival. This woman came by the table. She kept staring at the title of my book. Why didn't you get it done? Why did you get it done? She's staring at it. And she goes, "Oh, this book is calling my name. It's screaming my name." And all I could say was, "Well, buy it." But she says, and you've heard this one before, "I'll be back." Of course, I never saw her again, but she didn't want it. She felt she needed it, but she didn't want it. Like Chris said earlier, if they want it, they'll get it. Think about something that you wanted real bad, that was priced really high, but you found a way to make it happen. It might have been a concert ticket, a game ticket, a purse, a dress, a suit, some shoes, a car, a house. Because a lot of people are living in a house that they're so big they don't really need it, but they wanted it. So I challenge you. That's right, I'm challenging you right now. I challenge you to think about money in the sense of, you're supposed to be wealthy. Price yourself accordingly. If you're supposed to be wealthy, then you need to be offering something to people that they want, that it gives them value, but also rewards you for creating it. Also rewards you for creating it. Now, I wanted to talk to you on another thing here, which is something Chris talked about: procrastination. Too many people waste money by procrastinating. We don't actually take action as a society on things. I know right now I'm probably stepping on toes just by making that statement, but it's the truth. I mean, there was a YouGov study that actually said that people procrastinate 218 minutes a day, which, if you add that up in a year, that equates to a total of 55 days. That means you waste 55 days a year. Now, imagine if that was equating to dollars. That 218 minutes a day, that was dollars that you were losing. Think about how much money you were losing. Now, I have put together a formula on that, but I'm not going into it right now. But let's just say, it's probably safe to say that if you're someone who feels that you're worth $100, $200 an hour for your efforts and for the work that you put in, you actually are losing over $100,000 a year because of procrastination. What I do is I help people to become more productive. I want to stop you from procrastinating your life away, because I want to tell you something. The time that you're wasting, most of your thinking, and not just most of you, most of us are thinking that the time that we're wasting is hurting us only. So what's the big deal? No, it's hurting everybody. Don't you understand that every action that you take affects someone else? Like Chris is a dad. Chris he has a son. Every action he does affects his son. If it affects his son, it could also affect his wife. It can affect everyone. Every action I take, it could affect one of my clients, or it can affect a client that I don't have yet because I didn't reach out to them. Understand that you are affecting so many people in this world by wasting time. As a matter of fact, I'm going to give a free gift here for you guys. If you want to find out something about your time, I'm going to give this to you. You see, most people, when we talk about time, we think that There's certain times of day that you're supposed to work in, because we're fed a lot of stuff that from people that says, well, if you want to do well, you got to get up at 4 a.m. every day to do this. But that's not good for everybody. That's not good for everybody. Everyone has their own specific times that they are the most productive. And just because you're the most awake does not mean that that's when you're the most productive. So what I'm going to do is this. Text the word time. Text the word time to this number, 929-244-4323. 929-244-4323. Text the word time. And it's going to give you a quiz. It's going to tell you what the best time for you is to be the most productive. So I'm going to give that to you guys right now. So I want to make sure you have that. That's a free gift from me to you. I want to make sure you have that's a survey that I put together. A quiz for you to help you to be more productive with your life. Because the thing is, if you aren't being productive, you're killing the people around you. And I really need to get you to understand that. A lot of you are resting on ideas that you were blessed to have, and you're not taking action on them. And this is just me talking. It's not Chris talking. It's just me talking. I'm telling you, when you have an idea and you don't take action on it, it's like slapping God in the face, because he gave that idea to you. You were given that idea, not me, not Chris, not anyone else. You were given that idea. And for you not to act upon it, it's blasphemous. I mean, you pretty much said, it's not for me. I don't want that thing. And what will happen? Now, tell me if this has ever happened to you. Have you ever had an idea that you didn't act upon, and then later you saw someone else doing it and being successful with it? And you go, oh, man, I had that idea. Oh, I thought about that. Well, guess what? If you don't use it, he's going to give it to someone else. And someone else will take action on it. So understand that you have a wealth. You have a jackpot right in your head. You have a jackpot right there. God has given you all these blessings and ideas, but you, going back to what Chris said, you have to have the right mindset in order to incorporate them. Instead of saying, oh, I had a good idea and letting it go, you have to take that good idea and implement it. Chris and I sat on that cruise ship. We had an idea of putting this on. That cruise was last month. we didn't waste a lot of time. We got off the ship and started putting this together because we knew that we had to get this done. Why? Not just for us, for you. If we don't take action on the ideas, other people suffer. You've got to get to the point where you start taking immediate and massive action. If you want massive action, massive results, you've got to take massive action. We took massive action right away. We got on this. We made it happen. I know some of the people who are on the cruise with us are watching right now. We welcome you guys, and we're glad that you're here watching us. But I'm going to challenge them too, Chris. Those of you out there who are on the cruise with us, I would love to know what type of massive action you're taking since the cruise, because we had some great things we were there to work on. We want to make sure everybody is doing that. I love seeing people live in their dreams, man. I love seeing people take an idea and bring it to fruition. It's your turn. It's your turn. Whatever it is that you have been thinking about working on, that idea that you've had in your head, you probably wrote it down somewhere a long while ago. Go dig it out. Go dig it out and start putting it to action. That's what we're here for. Don't worry if it's not perfect. Don't worry if the idea is not finished yet. Get started on it. So many great things have come out of someone just taking something that they hadn't even finished yet. Let me tell you something. I have actually sold products to people that I hadn't even created. Because when I sold it, it made me finish it. I had the idea. I told them my idea. They thought it was good enough that they wanted to invest their money in my idea. I made it happen and delivered the product to them because I knew that I would make it happen. I'm challenging you guys. I'm challenging you all. Make it happen for yourselves. Stop letting procrastination be the beast that knocks everything out of your life. Stop being broke because of procrastination. Stop limiting other people from success because of your procrastination. It's time for you to live in the now and make things happen for yourself. Let me tell you something before me and Chris close this out. Do you know why people are broke? It's anticipation. Most people anticipate being broke. And you're saying, Barrett, what do you mean by that? What I mean is this. Have you ever been offered something that you knew that you wanted, that you needed, and you said, well, no, I can't afford to pay that because if I spend the money for that, I'm not going to have money for this later. You anticipated being broke. You anticipated not having the money for something else because you spent money on, because if you spent something on something you needed right now. Now, do you know why wealthy people are wealthy? Yeah, anticipation. They anticipate having the money. They anticipate spending the money and having more money come in because they've already put things in place to make sure that happens because they anticipate having money. They know things are going to come up, but they anticipate having the money to take care of it. So just anticipate having money for yourselves, guys. Anticipate having the right mindset to put yourself in a position to bring in the money. Chris, I think we wrapped it all up tonight. What do you think, buddy?
Yeah, no, you did an awesome job in summarizing all that. Again, the key takeaways. Again, it starts and ends with you. It's your dialogue with money. It can be changed, but again, you got to come from the right mindset. And what you talked about, procrastination. The difference between want and need is so powerful. And again, it's what you're doing. Too many of us are conditioned that. I do these affirmations all day, but nothing happens. Well, if you don't take action, the universe is going to give back what you put into it. It's like a boomerang or a circle. What you put out there ends up coming back. So even if you're giving money to somebody or give to a charity, it's going to come back. But if you're tied to the outcome or the expectation, that blocks it. What you talked about is, the anticipation, but yet not expecting that. You put it out there and you do what you do, your part of it, and allow the universe to complete the circle, to bring it back.
That's right.
So Chris, focusing on the process is the key there.
So Chris, we have something that we want to give to them. You want to talk to them about it?
Yes. Well, like as we talked about here, anytime that you're looking to make a change, sometimes we need help. I know I personally have worked with coaches. I continue to do so today. And without those people, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. I can't say that it was them that changed me. I changed myself, but they helped guide me through the process. So the key is that anybody that's seriously looking to change their dialogue with money, to set the right mindset foundation, that are looking to get more organized, become more productive, eliminate procrastination from their life, Barrett and I are offering a dual 1-hour consultation. Okay, so that's both of us for 1 hour. In that 1 hour, we're going to diagnose from what you give us your barrier or barriers or your limited beliefs. We're going to determine from some things that you're doing where you're procrastinating, where you're not organized or structured with the right habits, disciplines, and behaviors to manifest more money in your life. Now, is this a free session? No. Is it going to cost you a lot of money? No. But here's the thing. If it were offered for free, there would probably be a lot of people that would take up the free offer. But you know how many people in the last minute would not even show up for the phone call? Because they needed it, but they didn't really want it. So for those that really want it, when I say want it, they want to take action. I am going to go from here to here. We're offering this dual consultation for 1 hour for only $97. So this is not going to necessarily separate the men from the boys or the women from the girls, but yet it's just enough skin in the game that's going to show you, not us. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to us. It only matters to you that if you make that commitment, you're going to be able to identify something that could be holding you back, that can change the quality of your life from where you are now, where you could be 1 year from now. And it's like Bitcoin. You could have put in, $97 into Bitcoin 3 years ago, and now you made a lot of money. You could put $97 here that could change the quality of your life. So for those that are serious about taking action, and I will and I am from those statements, take us up on that offer, and we're going to be here and we're going to listen to you. And we promise you we're going to diagnose what could be holding you back, or at least from what you've given us, as long as you're honest and authentic with your information. So we look forward to those that take that action today to step up, and we'll schedule your $97 consultation to change the quality of your life from mindset to money.
And Chris, do you want to give them a contact so they can, if they can reach out to you, or they can reach out to me? How do you want to do that?
Absolutely, yeah. So for the best way to reach me would be at my email at chris@christophersalem.com, because that's going to tell me somebody who is really serious about moving forward. Again, either it's not 1 foot in, 1 foot out. It's both feet in. You may determine after $97 that maybe, this is not for you, and that's okay. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. You didn't lose much. But I can honestly say today, between both of us, we're going to give you our true assessment, what's holding you back, and some tips on how you can get organized. And then it's up to you to take it from there, what you want to do from it. But $97 is could change the quality of your life, whether you decide that you see the value in what we do to help you or not, or take it somewhere else. But make that commitment for you, nobody else.
Right. And if you want to reach out to me and do it, you can go to Barrett L. Matthews at Gmail. Give me my Gmail account, Barrett L. Matthews at Gmail. And all you have to do is just put in the inbox, just say I'm in. Just say I'm in, and then I'll know that you're serious about taking action in your life. Like I said, we could be doing other things, but we're going to give this to you. And
one other thing I want to throw in is that, if we those people that if we really align with each other and we start to work together, if that happens, I'm talking about the people that sign up. I'm also going to be able to provide some of my wealth principles that have made me a lot of money and made me significantly wealthy from the time I turned the age 36. I'm 50 now, and I'm not going to disclose money, but there's plenty of it. I've done very, very well. And I'm not saying it to brag, because that's not what it's about. It's about what you do with that wealth in creating more value for others, making more people happy. And I'm going to share my resources of what's been able to generate wealth, attract more money into my life, and how I've given money to others to benefit them, to empower them to become their better selves.
Yeah.
I'm going to offer that insight as well, just a little bit, and those that continue that decide that might want to work with us.
All right. So there you have it, guys. This is actually, to have an hour with both of us, you will be spending probably about 5 or 6 times more than the $97, but we're going to give this to you guys for only $97. So you got Chris's email, you've gotten my email. We're both on Facebook. If you didn't get a chance to get everything, this will be replayed. So for those of you who came in late, this will be replayed. We'll let you know about that as well. We want to thank you guys for joining us. Chris, do you have any last words, buddy?
Well, yeah, like I said, I mean, we're thank you for joining us. Those that are live listening in right now, those that will be looking at again, this value in itself could be, well close to anywhere between $597 to $797 for this consultation, getting both of us. Here, we're only doing $97 because the money doesn't mean anything here. It's just showing, this is about you, that you're making a commitment toward yourself to have some type of skin in the game, to put that out to the universe, that I am going to change for the better to attract more money and more balance and a better life for myself, true prosperity. So this is your end of the bargain, and this is up to you to decide what you want to do with it going forward. It's not about anybody else.
All right. You heard it from him. You heard it from Chris Salem. I'm Barrett Matthews, and I want to thank you guys for joining us tonight. And yeah, we'll be back. We're going to be doing this again sometime.
Absolutely.
So, take it easy, guys. You guys have a great evening.
Have a good evening.